13 Ways to Recognize Envy and Falsehood. In others, Stoicism. In a world where competition and appearances often overshadow authenticity, envy and falsehood can quietly creep into our daily interactions, sometimes from those closest to us. How many times have you shared a success only to feel someone's smile didn't quite reach their eyes, or sensed that certain compliments were laced with hidden motives? These subtle yet destructive forces can undermine trust, damage relationships, and disturb your inner peace. At Stoic in Your Life, we explore how modern Stoicism offers timeless tools to recognize and navigate these challenges. Stoic Secrets teach us that while we can't control others' envy or deceit, we can control our response, maintaining clarity and calm amidst the noise. In this video, you'll discover 13 practical ways to spot envy and falsehood in others, so you can protect your peace, strengthen your awareness, and live virtuously in an often deceptive world. Are you ready to face these hidden truths with Stoic wisdom? Let's begin. Number 1. The smirk and mocking of your success. Have you ever noticed someone smirk when you share your success? Maybe you've heard a comment disguised as a compliment that just didn't sit right. Something like, "That's great, but I wouldn't expect anything less from you." On the surface, it seems supportive, but there's an edge to it, a subtle sting that makes you question whether they're genuinely happy for you. I've been there, and I bet you have too. It's one of those moments that make you pause and wonder, why can't they just celebrate with me? The truth is, what you're witnessing is envy, cleverly hidden beneath a mask of humor or casual mockery. People who mock or downplay your achievements often aren't reacting to you. They're grappling with their own insecurities. Seneca, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Envy stems from that craving, the dissatisfaction with what one has, fueled by the sight of someone else's success. When you succeed, it can inadvertently shine a light on someone else's perceived shortcomings, making them feel inadequate. Their laughter, their smirk, their backhanded compliments, they're not about you, they're about them. But here's the challenge. How do you respond? Do you confront them? Do you let it bother you? Or do you, like the Stoics teach, remain unshaken? Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic master, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Their words, their reactions, their envy, these are outside your control. What you can control is how you internalize them. When faced with envy or false praise, you have a choice. You can let it chip away at your confidence, or you can see it for what it is, a reflection of their inner turmoil, not a measure of your worth. Ask yourself, why should I let someone else's insecurity dictate how I feel about my accomplishments? Modern Stoicism encourages us to be anchored, to not be swayed by the tides of others' opinions. It's about cultivating an inner fortress so strong that no external mockery can breach it. But I know, that's easier said than done. It stings when people you care about can't be happy for you. It's confusing when success leads to distance instead of celebration. Yet isn't it more peaceful to release the need for their approval? Epictetus put it plainly, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So when someone mocks your achievements, consider this. Their reaction is theirs to own. Your peace, your pride in what you've accomplished, that belongs to you. I often wonder, why do we crave validation from those who can't offer it sincerely? Is it habit? Is it our desire for universal acceptance? Maybe it's human nature. But as students of modern Stoicism, you and I are called to a higher standard. We learn to find contentment within, to detach from the applause or jeers of the crowd. Life is too short to measure our joy against someone else's envy. And here's another thought. What if, instead of resenting their reaction, you offered them compassion? Envy is a heavy burden to carry. Their mockery might be their way of coping with feelings they haven't fully faced. That doesn't mean you have to accept negativity into your life. It just means you can observe it without absorbing it. I've found that when you approach these situations with understanding rather than defensiveness, you preserve your energy for what truly matters: your growth, your journey, your peace. So let me ask you, the next time someone smirks at your success, how will you respond? Will you let it unsettle you, or will you remember that their reaction is a mirror of their own struggles? Modern Stoicism offers us this freedom, the freedom to rise above, to stay centered, to continue pursuing excellence regardless of outside noise. You owe it to yourself to protect your peace, to celebrate your victories without shrinking to make others comfortable. After all, he who envies others does not obtain peace of mind, said Buddha, and peace of mind is exactly what we're after, isn't it? So hold your head high. Your success is yours to cherish. Let them smirk if they must. You keep moving forward. Number 2, the betraying gaze. The eyes, often called the windows to the soul, rarely lie. While words may be carefully crafted to mask envy or falsehood, the gaze often exposes what speech tries to conceal. You've likely experienced this. Someone congratulates you, their words pleasant, yet their eyes linger just a moment too long, filled not with joy but with quiet discomfort or veiled resentment. Or perhaps you catch that fleeting glance, a flash of bitterness that vanishes beneath a forced smile. These subtle cues, though easily dismissed, reveal more about a person's true feelings than their words ever could. As Seneca once said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." By learning to recognize these signs without allowing them to disturb your peace, you protect your inner tranquility. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the feelings of others, we can control how we respond. Consider this. You receive a promotion at work, and amidst the congratulations, a colleague avoids your gaze, shuffling awkwardly, their tone supportive but their eyes evasive. In that moment, the Stoic path is not to judge them harshly or to take offense, but to observe quietly, without attachment. Their envy is their burden, not yours. Engaging in their emotional turmoil only pulls you into unnecessary drama. Instead, maintain your composure. This is where the real Stoic secrets lie, not in confronting others, but in mastering yourself. Life is filled with such moments where people's true feelings slip through the cracks of polite conversation. You'll find that by simply noticing, without reacting, you cultivate a profound resilience. "He who angers you conquers you," wrote Elizabeth Kenny, a reminder that your peace is too valuable to be surrendered to another's hidden bitterness. In our modern, fast-paced world, where success is often met with concealed envy rather than open support, your ability to perceive these subtle betrayals in someone's gaze allows you to navigate relationships wisely. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or becoming suspicious of everyone, but rather fostering awareness. By seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be, you move through life with clarity and calm. Remember, the warmth of genuine admiration shines through effortlessly, while the coldness of envy strains to hide behind words. The Stoic secrets reveal that your strength lies in detachment. Observe the gaze, hear the words, but let neither disturb the stillness within you. Number 3. Fake compliments. It's curious how words meant to uplift can sometimes carry a hidden sting. Compliments, in their purest form, are meant to celebrate and acknowledge one's achievements. Yet there are times when what seems like praise is, in reality, a subtle attempt to belittle. You've likely encountered someone saying, "I didn't think you'd pull this off, but I'm impressed," or "You were lucky this time." These aren't just harmless remarks. They're backhanded compliments crafted to suggest your success was unexpected or undeserved. Such comments, wrapped in a facade of kindness, can be confusing and hurtful, especially when they come from those you thought were supportive. People who offer fake compliments often project their own insecurities, seeking to diminish your joy, to soothe their envy. Their passive-aggressive tones or lack of genuine enthusiasm are clear indicators that their words aren't rooted in goodwill. But here's where modern Stoicism becomes a vital tool. By emotionally detaching from these insincere remarks, you shield your peace of mind from their subtle toxicity. I've learned that when someone tries to undermine my success with a disguised jab, the best response isn't defensiveness, it's calm indifference. Instead of internalizing the negativity or wasting energy deciphering someone's hidden motives, you focus on what truly matters: your personal growth, your efforts, and your journey. In today's fast-paced world, where social comparisons are amplified by digital platforms, envy often masquerades as friendly banter or faux praise. You might achieve something significant, only to be met with veiled comments designed to chip away at your confidence. But think about it. Why give away your tranquility to someone else's bitterness? In embracing modern Stoicism, you learn to observe these interactions with a detached curiosity rather than emotional involvement. Let them say what they will. Your self-worth isn't built on their words. Their envy is their burden, not yours. Seneca wisely noted, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." So when faced with fake compliments, smile if you must, acknowledge the words without absorbing the venom beneath them, and carry on with unwavering focus. Life is too brief, and your journey too important, to be sidetracked by the shadows cast by others. In the end, staying true to yourself and your path is the greatest triumph over envy's subtle whispers. Number 4. Subtle comparisons to others. Have you ever shared something you were proud of, only to have someone immediately compare it to what someone else has done? Maybe you mentioned your promotion, and they replied, "That's great, but have you seen what Sarah just achieved?" It seems harmless, maybe even conversational, but deep down it stings. Why is that? Because subtle comparisons, though cloaked in casual remarks, are often rooted in envy. These comments, even when disguised as friendly banter, are designed to chip away at your sense of accomplishment. It's like someone handing you a gift with one hand while taking it back with the other. They might say, "You did well, but John would have finished it faster," planting doubt where there should be pride. And here's the thing. Envy often sneaks in through these tiny cracks of comparison, making you question yourself. But let me tell you a story that brings this to life. A friend of mine, Alex, recently ran his first marathon. He trained for months, fought through injuries, and crossed the finish line with a smile that could light up a room. Sharing his triumph, someone casually remarked, "That's awesome, but Mark runs ultra marathons. You should aim for that next." Just like that, the joy of completing a personal milestone was overshadowed by someone else's comparison. Have you ever been in Alex's shoes? Achieved something you worked hard for, only to be met with a, "But someone else did better"? It's frustrating, isn't it? But this is where Stoic secrets come into play. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, taught us to focus inward. "Do not waste time on what a bad man does," he wrote, emphasizing that our journey isn't about outpacing others, but growing ourselves. When you realize that your worth isn't measured by someone else's ruler, you reclaim your peace. I know how tempting it is to get caught in the web of comparisons. Social media, office chatter, family gatherings. Comparison is everywhere. But what if instead of looking sideways you looked forward? What if you asked yourself, "Am I better than I was yesterday?" instead of, "Am I better than them?" That shift in perspective is liberating. And let's be honest. People who constantly compare are often revealing more about their own insecurities than your achievements. Why let their envy weigh you down? You see, envy thrives on attention. When you dwell on those comparisons, you feed it. But when you shrug it off and focus on your own path, you starve it. Stoic secrets teach us that true contentment comes from within, not from outperforming others. So, The next time someone tries to dim your light with a comparison, smile and let it bounce off you. Your journey is yours alone, and no amount of comparison can take that away unless you let it. Ask yourself this: why should someone else's path define mine? The answer is, it shouldn't. Life isn't a race against others. It's a journey toward your best self. So celebrate your wins, big or small, without needing anyone else's approval. After all, how far you've come is far more important than how far someone else has gone. Remember Alex? He decided that his marathon was his victory, regardless of how many ultra-marathons Mark ran. He framed his medal, not for anyone else, but as a reminder that he conquered his challenge. Shouldn't you do the same for your victories? Here are the lessons to take away. First, people will compare. It's inevitable. But you decide how much weight those comparisons hold. Second, envy often hides behind compliments wrapped in comparisons. Recognize it, but don't let it settle in your mind. Third, your journey is yours. Measure it against your own progress, not someone else's milestones. And finally, remember this: true satisfaction isn't about being the best, it's about being your best. Don't let envy steal that from you. Let the Stoic secrets guide you to a place where your inner peace isn't shaken by someone else's words. Stand tall in your achievements, keep your eyes on your path, and embrace the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're exactly where you need to be. Number 5. Silence during your success. Have you ever achieved something you were truly proud of? Perhaps a promotion, a personal milestone, or a hard-fought success, only to be met with an unsettling silence from someone you thought would celebrate with you? That silence, as subtle as it may seem, can speak volumes. I've felt it, and maybe you have too. The absence of a congratulatory word, the quick change of subject, or that emotionless nod that leaves you questioning why they can't share in your joy. In moments like these, it's easy to let resentment creep in, wondering why someone close to you can't simply acknowledge your achievement. But let me ask you this: should your happiness depend on their reaction? The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." And isn't that the truth? We often let the opinions, or in this case, the silence of others, dictate how we feel about ourselves. But modern Stoicism reminds us that our peace of mind should never hinge on the approval or acknowledgement of others. Their silence may stem from jealousy, insecurity, or their own internal struggles that have nothing to do with you. Imagine standing in the sun while someone else hides in the shade. Does their choice to stand in the dark lessen your warmth? Of course not. Likewise, their unwillingness to celebrate your success shouldn't dampen your joy. Yet, it's natural to wonder, why do people act this way? Envy often manifests not through obvious insults but through the quiet withdrawal. The colleague who offers no congratulations, the friend who changes the subject, the family member who downplays your accomplishment. It's a subtle resistance, a non-verbal way of saying, "I see your success, but I won't acknowledge it." And while it's tempting to confront them or seek validation, I urge you to take a different approach, one rooted in Stoic wisdom. Ask yourself, what is truly within my control? Their silence is theirs to carry, your reaction is yours to command. When you stop seeking external validation, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with other people's reactions. You begin to live for the intrinsic value of your actions, focusing on the journey rather than the applause, or lack thereof, that accompanies it. How liberating would it feel to accomplish something and genuinely not care whether others praise you or not? That's the heart of modern Stoicism, developing the inner strength to remain calm amid both celebration and indifference. I won't lie, it's not easy. Our instincts crave acknowledgement, we're wired for connection. But there's profound freedom in detachment. When you recognize someone's silence as a reflection of their internal state, not a judgment of your worth. You gain clarity. You start to see that your happiness isn't something that should be handed to you by others. It's something you cultivate from within. So the next time you find yourself met with silence during your success, take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I do not control their reaction. I control my response. Choose peace over frustration, understanding over bitterness. And if you feel a pang of disappointment, that's okay. Acknowledge it, then let it pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Seneca said it best. A wise man is content with himself. Are you content with yourself enough to not need their words? Can you celebrate your victories regardless of who joins you? These are the questions modern Stoicism invites you to reflect upon. Your journey is yours. Walk it with pride, not for the applause, but for the sheer joy of the steps you've taken. And if others remain silent, let them. Their silence speaks about them, not you. Number 6. Overcompensating praise. In life, you will encounter those who, when faced with your success, offer praise so excessive that it borders on absurdity. Their words might seem flattering. You're the best at everything. No one could ever achieve what you've done. But there's an undercurrent that feels off, forced, or insincere. This kind of over-the-top admiration is often rooted not in genuine happiness for you, but in envy masked by exaggeration. Why do people do this? It's a subtle form of self-protection. They acknowledge your achievements, but unable to reconcile their own feelings of powerlessness, overcompensate to protect their ego. In some cases, they are trying to convince themselves that they are not jealous, or even trying to maintain a sense of superiority by being overly generous with their praise. However, as Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the opinion of 10,000 men is worth nothing if not one of them knows anything about the matter. Excessive flattery is often just empty noise, offering nothing more than a distraction from your true path. It's easy to be seduced by such grand praise. After all, who doesn't like to hear good things about themselves? But herein lies a trap. When you allow yourself to be swept away by exaggerated compliments, you risk becoming dependent on external validation, losing sight of your inner compass. Stoic secrets lie in recognizing the nature of things, in seeing through appearances to the reality beneath. When someone's admiration feels inflated, acknowledge the compliment but remain grounded in the truth of your efforts. You know the extent of your work, the obstacles you overcame, and the areas where you still need to grow. Don't let flattery inflate your ego or distort your perception of yourself. Similarly, craving praise, especially insincere praise, leaves you impoverished in spirit. Genuine self-worth comes from living in accordance with virtue, not from the fleeting approval of others. In modern life, where social media showers us with constant feedback, likes, comments, shares, it's easy to become addicted to external validation. But ask yourself, does their praise reflect who you truly are, or is it just noise meant to soothe their own envy? Cultivating inner resilience means appreciating honest feedback while remaining unmoved by flattery designed to manipulate or pacify. Thor, next time you receive a compliment that feels overdone, pause. Thank them graciously but stay vigilant. Remind yourself of Epictetus's counsel. If you wish to be a writer, write. In other words, focus on your work, your virtues, your integrity. Praise will come and go, often for reasons beyond your control. The real question is, are you living according to your values? That's where peace resides. Stoicism teaches us to be like the rock against which waves crash, unshaken by either criticism or praise. True strength lies in knowing who you are, independent of others' fluctuating opinions. In your journey, you'll encounter many who mask envy with flowery words. Recognize it not with anger or pride, but with understanding. Their struggle is their own. Your task is to remain steadfast, focused on personal growth, not external approval. This is one of the Stoic secrets: to value your character above all. else. Let others speak as they will. You know your path, and that is enough. Number 7. The silent withdrawal. There's a peculiar shift you may notice in someone who once celebrated your victories, an unspoken retreat, a withdrawal cloaked in silence. This subtle but telling sign of envy often reveals itself when a person, previously enthusiastic about your progress, suddenly distances themselves without explanation. You might share good news, only to see their smile falter or their interest fade. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel strained, with them deflecting any mention of your achievements, changing topics abruptly, or, in more pronounced cases, disappearing altogether. It's unsettling, leaving you questioning what changed. You replay past conversations wondering if you said something wrong or if you should reach out again. But in truth, this reaction often stems from their internal struggle, a silent battle with feelings of inadequacy or a fear of being overshadowed. Their withdrawal isn't necessarily about something you did, it's about their perception of themselves in light of your progress. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, reminds us, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. This isn't a call to cynicism, but a practical preparation for life's realities, guiding us to face such reactions with composure rather than surprise. In embracing modern Stoicism, you learn to perceive these withdrawals not as personal attacks, but as reflections of the other person's turmoil. Their discomfort with your growth is their journey, not yours. You are not responsible for how your success makes someone else feel, especially if you've acted with kindness and humility. When you encounter this kind of silent withdrawal, the Stoic approach is clear. Remain centered. Don't let their envy derail your focus or stir bitterness in you. It's tempting to mirror their coldness, to match silence with silence, or to let resentment creep in. But what strength lies in that? True resilience is found in compassion, not retaliation. Think about how liberating it is to not be swayed by another's unspoken discontent. Their withdrawal is less about your abundance and more about their perceived lack. This craving for what you have, a craving they may not even fully understand, creates a barrier between you. By recognizing this, you can approach the situation with empathy while keeping your boundaries intact. You don't need to diminish your light to make someone else comfortable. If anything, your continued warmth and steadiness can serve as a quiet testament to your character. This doesn't mean forcing interactions or seeking their approval. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is let them have the space they need, without judgment or resentment. In today's fast-paced world, where comparison is just a scroll away and people measure themselves against carefully curated highlights of others' lives, modern Stoicism serves as an invaluable anchor. It reminds you that your worth is measured by your virtues, not by how many people applaud your journey or withdraw from it. Success isn't a zero-sum game. Your progress doesn't diminish anyone else's potential unless they choose to see it that way. When you hold on to this truth, you free yourself from the emotional tug-of-war that envy often creates. You stay focused on your path, grounded in your principles and kind in your interactions. Your journey is yours to walk, not to validate through others' reactions. So, if you find yourself on the receiving end of someone's silent withdrawal, take it as a moment to practice patience, understanding, and unwavering focus. Let their silence pass over you like a breeze, felt, but not disruptive. Maintain your warmth without chasing after approval that was never yours to control. In the grand scheme of life, it's far more powerful to keep moving forward with grace than to pause and ponder over someone else's shadows. Remember, their silence speaks volumes about their inner world, not yours. Stay steadfast, stay kind, and above all, stay focused on the virtues that define you. Number 8. The overzealous attempt to one-up you. Have you ever shared a personal success only to be met with someone trying to top it? You tell a friend you just completed a marathon, feeling proud of the months of dedication, and they fire back with, "That's nice, but I ran 2 marathons last year without any professional training." Suddenly, your achievement feels diminished, like it's been tossed aside. We've all experienced this, someone turning your moment into a stage for their own story. But why do people do this? More importantly, how should you respond? Stoic secrets tell us that this behavior often stems from envy and insecurity, a desperate attempt by others to validate themselves through comparison. When someone constantly tries to one-up you, they reveal more about their inner turmoil than about your worth. It's like they're looking in a mirror, seeing their own perceived shortcomings reflected in your success and scrambling to cover them up. But here's the truth. Their struggle isn't yours. Your value isn't diminished just because someone else feels the need to compete. So how do you handle it without being pulled into the tug-of-war of egos? The Stoics would say, remain indifferent. You don't need to defend yourself or outshine anyone. A calm acknowledgement, "That's impressive, I'm glad you accomplished that," is enough. You keep your peace by not feeding the comparison trap. After all, if someone is climbing over you to prove their worth, why lay down and be their ladder? Let me tell you a story that might hit close to home. A few years ago, I worked with someone named Jake, charming, intelligent, and seemingly supportive. Yet every time I shared a win, he'd instantly respond with something bigger. I got a promotion, he bought a new house. I ran a 5K, he completed a triathlon. It was exhausting. At first I felt frustrated, even tempted to keep my achievements to myself. But then I remembered what I'd read from Marcus Aurelius. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if they don't know what they're talking about. Jake's need to one-up wasn't about me. It was about him. So I stopped reacting. I celebrated my wins silently, letting his comparisons bounce off me like raindrops on a jacket. Over time, something changed. In me. I realized how freeing it was not to crave his approval or be affected by his competitiveness. And you know what? His attempts to outdo me slowed down, almost as if my lack of reaction took the wind out of his sails. Why do we so easily fall into the trap of comparison, though? Is it the fear of being less than in a world obsessed with more? How would your life change if you stopped measuring yourself against others and instead focused on your journey? Stoicism teaches that comparison is a thief of contentment. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. Their validation isn't your nourishment. When people try to one-up you, it's often a cry for acknowledgement, not an attack on your worth. You have the power to disengage, smile, nod, move on. The real competition isn't with them, it's with the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, are you letting others dictate how you feel about your achievements, or are you standing firm in your own self-worth? There's profound peace in choosing not to react. By focusing on your growth, you not only sidestep envy, but also inspire others through your calm confidence. That's one of the greatest Stoic secrets. True strength lies in self-mastery, not in proving yourself to others. So next time someone tries to one-up you, remember this. You don't need to join their game. Your achievements stand tall on their own. Practice indifference, hold on to your inner peace, and keep moving forward. The lesson here is simple yet powerful. Your journey is yours. Honor it. Don't let envy from others, or even from within, distract you from becoming the best version of yourself. Number 9. The condescending advice disguised as concern. Have you ever received advice that, instead of uplifting you, left you second-guessing yourself? Maybe someone said, "You've done well, but be careful. People might think you're showing off." Or, "It's great that you've made progress, but don't expect everyone to be as supportive as you think." On the surface, these words seem like genuine concern, but deep down they carry a weight of subtle doubt and veiled criticism. I've heard those comments, and if you're striving for growth, you probably have too. It's confusing, isn't it? Here you are, proud of your progress, and suddenly someone plants a seed of uncertainty. Are they right? Am I being too much? Should I tone it down? But ask yourself, why would someone who truly supports me make me feel small about my success? The truth is, envy often dresses itself in the costume of friendly advice. It's sneaky because it preys on your desire to be considerate, to not appear arrogant. People offering these remarks might not even realize they're projecting their insecurities onto you. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." These comments are designed to pull you into that trap, questioning things that aren't truly issues until someone points them out with just enough condescension to make you wonder. But what if you paused in that moment and reminded yourself, their words reflect their inner struggles, not my reality. Modern Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded amid praise and criticism alike. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them, and it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." So, when someone delivers that condescending advice, you have a choice. Internalize their doubts or let their words pass through you like wind through trees. I know. It's tempting to defend yourself, to explain why you deserve your success. But why waste that energy? Isn't your time better spent continuing to do what brought you that success in the first place? Why seek validation from someone whose concern comes wrapped in envy? The beauty of modern Stoicism lies in its practicality. You and I are encouraged to act in alignment with our values, not to dance around the insecurities of others. Their opinions are like passing clouds. Your character is the sky, vast, unshakable, constant. I've found that sometimes people offer these comments because they're uncomfortable with change. Your change. Your growth can highlight their stagnation, and rather than confront their own inaction, it's easier for them to tug you back down to a level that feels safer for them. Epictetus advised, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That's powerful, isn't it? You don't have to be complicit. When they say don't get ahead of yourself, you can think, why not? What's wrong with advancing boldly? There's nothing noble about shrinking yourself to fit someone else's comfort zone. Still, I get it. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and you don't want to cross it. But consider this. True arrogance seeks validation at the expense of others, while confidence is simply knowing your worth without needing external approval. Which one feels more like you? There's also a certain freedom in acknowledging their words without letting them stick. A simple thanks for the advice followed by you continuing to thrive sends a stronger message than any argument ever could. You're not dismissing them. You're just choosing peace over unnecessary drama. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that people would be envious, selfish, and manipulative, but that didn't give him an excuse to be anything but virtuous in response. What if you adopted that mindset? Imagine how much energy you'd save, not reacting to every jab disguised as concern. The next time you hear that subtle dig, just don't let it go to your head. Smile inwardly. Their discomfort isn't your problem to solve. Your responsibility is to stay aligned with your purpose, to act with integrity regardless of their projections. So, I'll ask you, what matters more? Pleasing those who envy your progress or fulfilling the potential you've worked so hard to build? You didn't come this far to be swayed by half-hearted advice. Modern Stoicism calls you to be unflappable, to keep moving forward even when the world tries to tug you backward. And if you ever doubt yourself, remember Epictetus's words. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Their words are just noise. Your actions, your character, that's what lasts. Keep your head high. Let them talk. You've got bigger things to focus on. Number 10. The undermining of your relationships. Envy, as subtle as it is destructive, often reveals itself not just in how someone reacts to your success, but in how they seek to undermine the very relationships that strengthen and uplift you. I've witnessed how someone, masked with false concern and cloaked in feigned kindness, will quietly plant seeds of doubt, hoping to fracture your trust in those closest to you. They won't attack you outright, but will use sly comments disguised as friendly advice, whispering things like, "Have you noticed how your friend has been distant lately? Maybe they're jealous of all the attention you're getting," or, "I don't think so-and-so is as happy for you as they seem." These seemingly innocent remarks are calculated to stir suspicion, gently but persistently chipping away at the foundation of your relationships. Envy thrives in the shadows of such doubt, feeding off the tension and division it creates. People who harbor envy understand that if they can isolate you from your support system, they can weaken your resolve. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The essence of Stoicism teaches that when you recognize someone trying to manipulate your perception of others, the most powerful response is not anger or confrontation, but calm acknowledgement without emotional attachment. Hold steadfast to what you know to be true, and do not let their words infect your peace. In today's world, where gossip travels faster than ever, through office, whispers, text messages, or viral social media posts, it becomes crucial to guard your mind against these toxins. People driven by envy will often use subtle manipulation to make you question the loyalty of your friends, your family, even your colleagues, knowing that your strength frequently stems from those connections. This is where the Stoic secrets offer invaluable guidance. Focus on what you can control, your judgments and your reactions, while relinquishing the need to address every careless comment or defend every relationship against idle gossip. Through my own experiences, I've found that when you remain calm, centered, and unwavering, those attempting to drive wedges between you and your circle quickly lose their influence. Seneca captured this truth perfectly when he said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere," reminding us that spreading our attention thin, chasing every baseless doubt, only drains our energy and destabilizes our focus. Instead, direct your energy into nurturing the relationships that have shown resilience, the ones that have stood beside you through both triumphs and trials. If someone has been a steadfast ally, trust in their consistent actions rather than letting fleeting words sway you. Real friendships don't require constant reassurance against rumors. Their loyalty speaks louder than any gossip. And if someone persists in trying to poison your view of others, let their envy fall away like dust from your shoulder, unworthy of your energy or time. It's natural to feel tempted to confront such individuals, to call out their manipulations, but pause and ask yourself, does engaging with this pettiness truly serve my peace? More often than not, the answer is no. The greatest victory lies not in proving them wrong, but in refusing to be dragged into their turmoil. By choosing detachment, you safeguard not only your relationships, but also your inner calm. A calm that no envious remark or manipulative comment can penetrate. The Stoic secrets remind us that serenity doesn't come from controlling what others say or do, but from controlling what we choose to believe and how we choose to respond. Trust in the bonds you've built through shared experiences, time, and unwavering support. Let the envious chatter pass like a fleeting breeze, noise that holds no weight unless you give it power. In the end, the integrity of your relationships, fortified by mutual respect and understanding, is far stronger than any attempt to undermine them. Hold to that truth, and you'll find that envy, no matter how insidious, cannot touch the peace you've cultivated within. Number 11. The reluctance to celebrate your wins. There's a particular sting in achieving something you've worked hard for, only to be met with apathy or subtle dismissal from those you expected would share in your joy. You might announce a promotion, a personal milestone, or even a small victory anticipating warmth and congratulations. But instead, you're met with disinterested glances or comments like, "Well, I'm sure it was just a matter of time before that happened for you," or "Congrats, but I don't see why everyone's making such a big deal about it." These words may seem harmless on the surface, but they carry an undercurrent of envy, an unwillingness to acknowledge your efforts because your success triggers feelings of inadequacy in them. I've found that this reluctance from others isn't about you. It's a mirror reflecting their inner turmoil. Their inability to celebrate with you stems from their own unfulfilled desires and insecurities, not your achievements. Yet, knowing this doesn't always make it easier to swallow, does it? You've put in the effort, overcome obstacles, and reached a goal, and it's only natural to seek some acknowledgement. But here is where modern Stoicism offers profound guidance. Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you anchor your joy in the approval of others, you make yourself vulnerable to their envy and indifference. Instead, celebrate inwardly. Take a quiet moment to appreciate how far you've come, and let that be enough. When you detach from the need for external validation, you protect your peace of mind, remaining unshaken by those who cannot, or will not, share in your happiness." Life, after all, is too brief to let someone else's bitterness dampen your joy. I've learned that those who truly care will celebrate with you, those who don't reveal themselves through their silence or dismissive words. And that's valuable information. In our modern world, where achievements are often broadcasted on social media, the reactions, or lack thereof, can be magnified. Someone scrolling past your good news without acknowledgement can feel like a slight, but ask yourself, is their approval truly necessary for you to feel proud? The answer, as modern Stoicism teaches, is no. You are your own best cheerleader. Epictetus put it simply, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastering your reactions to others' reluctance to celebrate with you is part of this freedom. It doesn't mean you should become cold or indifferent. It means you value your internal compass over the fleeting opinions of others. When someone fails to celebrate your wins, let that be their burden to bear, not yours. Focus instead on those who uplift you, and more importantly, cultivate a relationship with yourself that doesn't rely on outside applause. At the end of the day, your achievements are yours, and no one can take away the effort, growth, and perseverance that brought you there. So celebrate, if only quietly, if only for yourself. Because your journey deserves it, regardless of who chooses to clap. Number 12. Emotional discomfort around your success. Have you ever shared good news, something you worked hard for, only to notice someone's reaction shift from interest to discomfort? Maybe they fidgeted, looked away, or quickly changed the subject. It's subtle but unmistakable. That uneasy silence or forced smile often speaks louder than words. I remember when a close friend of mine, Sarah, got promoted at work. She was thrilled, eager to share her success with her circle. But during dinner, when she announced it, one of her friends, someone she thought would be supportive, grew strangely quiet, barely making eye contact. Instead of congratulations, there was awkwardness in the air. Why does that happen? Why would someone who claims to care about you react with discomfort to your achievements? The truth is, when people feel envious, your success can act like a mirror reflecting what they believe they're lacking. Your growth challenges their self-image, and instead of celebrating with you, they retreat into their insecurities. But here's the crucial part. It's not about you. Their reaction is rooted in their inner turmoil, not your accomplishments. Stoic secrets remind us of this. Don't hanker after what other people say or do, Marcus Aurelius wrote, urging us to stand firm in our own values rather than being swayed by others' emotions. So when you notice this discomfort, don't let it dampen your joy. You can acknowledge their feelings without internalizing them. After all, would you dim your light just because it makes someone else squint? Think about a time when you achieved something significant. Did everyone cheer for you? Or did you catch that fleeting look of unease from someone you thought would be happy for you? It's natural to feel hurt. But what if, instead of taking it personally, you saw it for what it is? A reflection of their struggle, not your worth. Sarah, reflecting on that dinner, realized her friend's discomfort stemmed from her own career frustrations. Instead of holding a grudge, Sarah chose compassion, understanding that her success wasn't responsible for someone else's dissatisfaction. You can't control someone's reaction, but you can control how you let it affect you. Imagine how freeing it is to celebrate your wins without seeking validation. Your success is yours to embrace fully, regardless of how others feel. But let's pause for a moment. Why do we sometimes crave universal approval? Why do we let someone's discomfort make us second-guess our joy? The desire to be liked is human, yet Stoic philosophy asks us to prioritize inner peace over external validation. If someone's reaction is rooted in envy, should that hold power over your happiness? The answer is no. When you detach from needing everyone's applause, you reclaim your emotional stability. And here's where Stoic secrets shine again. True equanimity is found when your peace isn't swayed by praise or criticism. It's about celebrating not just your achievements, but the journey that led you there, independent of how others respond. So, what lessons should you walk away with? First, recognize that emotional discomfort from others during your successes is often about them, not you. Don't take it personally. Second, maintain compassion. People battling envy are wrestling with their own insecurities. Third, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Your happiness is rooted in your virtues, not in others' reactions. Finally, ask yourself this. Would you let someone else's fleeting emotion rob you of a hard-earned moment of joy? You worked for it, you overcame obstacles. Celebrate without guilt. Let their discomfort be theirs to handle, while you remain grounded in your path. That's the essence of living with inner peace and unshakable confidence. Number 13. The eagerness to point out your mistakes. Have you ever noticed how, after sharing an accomplishment you're proud of, someone is quick to highlight the one thing you didn't do perfectly? You might tell a friend about your promotion, and instead of celebrating with you, they say, "That's good, but wasn't there a part of the project you struggled with?" Or maybe you present something you've worked hard on, and they immediately point out a tiny error, as if that small imperfection overshadows your entire achievement. I've experienced this, and I bet you have too. It's disheartening, isn't it? But what if I told you that eagerness to point out your mistakes is often rooted in something deeper? Envy. When someone seizes every opportunity to highlight your flaws, especially when it's done harshly or exaggeratedly, it's not really about you. It's about them. Envy, like a shadow, follows people who measure their worth against others. Instead of reflecting on their own growth, they focus on where you stumble, hoping it makes them feel better about themselves. But here's the question. Should their need to diminish you ever have the power to disturb your peace? This is the essence of modern Stoicism, learning to remain unmoved by external judgments that don't serve our growth. When someone points out your mistakes with an air of superiority or hidden resentment, you have a choice. You can let their words sink into your heart, or you can observe them with calm detachment. Why give their envy a place in your mind? If the criticism holds truth, embrace it with humility. If it's baseless or driven by spite, let it slide off you like water off a rock. I'm not saying it's easy. We all crave validation and naturally feel hurt by unfair criticism. But modern Stoicism teaches us that emotional resilience isn't about denying feelings. It's about not being ruled by them. So when someone tries to poke holes in your success, pause and ask yourself, why does this bother me? Is this feedback valuable, or is it their envy talking? This reflection transforms how you receive criticism. turning it into either a tool for self-improvement or a lesson in emotional control. Envy is often subtle. It hides behind sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or that relentless focus on your imperfections. But recognizing it allows you to stay centered. I believe that when you stand firm in your values, external negativity loses its grip. Seneca said, "A wise man is content with himself." Are you content enough with yourself to not let others' eagerness to highlight your mistakes define how you see yourself? Can you celebrate your progress without needing universal approval? I think you can. You deserve to own your achievements fully, without letting someone else's envy cast a shadow over your light. And the next time someone tries to chip away at your confidence, smile gently. Thank them if there's truth in their words and move on. Their opinion isn't your compass, your values are. Keep walking your path with pride and serenity, knowing that you are the master of your mind. Let others focus on flaws if they must. You, my friend, focus on growth. In conclusion, recognizing envy and falsehood in others is a vital skill for anyone striving to live with clarity, resilience, and virtue, principles at the heart of modern Stoicism. The behaviors we've explored reflect deeper struggles of insecurity and comparison that, if left unnoticed, can disturb our peace and derail our focus. But by understanding these signs, you can protect your emotional well-being and stay true to your path. As the Stoic secrets remind us, your value isn't shaped by the envy or opinions of others. It's defined by your actions, your virtues, and your commitment to inner peace. True strength lies in responding to negativity with grace, focusing on what you can control, and nurturing your personal growth amid life's chaos. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. Turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos, where we continue to explore how ancient wisdom can guide us through modern challenges. Stay steadfast, stay virtuous, and remember your peace is your power.